What we have here is a team made up of all the youngest players in the NFL, and what I want to see is if they can win a Super Bowl. Now, we've done this before with next year's free agents, and those guys were very good players, and they won the Super Bowl in that season. However, I already know that this team will not win a Super Bowl in the first season. However, this is a different situation. We've assembled the youngest team possible, and if you do that, you don't expect to win it all in year one. We've got a long-term project going on here, so this team gets multiple seasons to win a Super Bowl, 7 seasons in fact, before everybody's contracts expire and these players go their separate ways. So let's take a quick look at the team. You've already had a chance to look at the offense, and we've got quite a few Browns players here. Let's first address the fact we're using the Browns. It's not because, oh, it's the Cleveland Browns. It's actually simply because the Cleveland Browns have the youngest roster in the NFL this season, and that is why we're using them. But we've got a few Browns players on the team. Deshaun Kaiser makes the team. Joe Mixon, Christian McCaffrey at running back. Our receivers headlined by Juju Smith-Schuster. Rod Johnson still on the team as well. This line, David Njoku also on the team, as well as Jonnu Smith. Moving on to the defense, and we've got ourselves some decent players here as well. And on the defensive line, we're looking very good. We've got ourselves Joey Bosa, Kenny Clark, and Derek Barnett. Our cornerbacks, not bad either. Quincy Wilson, Marlon Humphrey, Sidney Jones, and Tease Tabor. And then we've got Marcus Williams. Our linebackers, not great. Middle linebackers, not bad with Gerard Davis. And then Delano Hill at strong safety. Now, what I want to address as well is the depth chart order is based off age. So if we've got, you know, like the defensive tackles, where we've got 2 of them, Malik McDowell is younger than Kenny Clark. That's why he's ahead of him. Onto the specialists, we've got Butker at kicker, Sanchez at punter, and that does it. That is the team. This is the team that has got 7 years to improve and win a Super Bowl by the end of it. And if they don't win it in 7 years, well, that's it. The experiment has failed. And we can conclude that you shouldn't build a young team for long-term success, and that'd be pretty bad news for the Browns in real life. However, I think we'll do all right. They've got a bunch of seasons to progress. The players have got a chance to get better. And let's start with the first season, get it out of the way, advance to the playoffs. Of course, if we're in the playoffs, we'll go game by game, although I'm not expecting much in this first season. So the first season is done. We, of course, didn't make the playoffs. Let's take a look at how we did. We went 1-15. Wow, that's a little worse than I expected. Now, there's no point looking at stats because we're not here for stats. We're here to win a Super Bowl. And it really doesn't matter if whoever won whatever or anything like that. We don't care. We just want to win a Super Bowl within a few seasons. David Njoku, we can see, has a lot of XP there. Very interesting. But let's get ourselves through this offseason. Here we are, year 2, and the team has improved a lot. We're looking pretty good at the tight end, running back positions. Quarterback could still improve. Wide receiver could still improve. Defense, not looking bad in some positions as well. Of course, we could be better, but I do think we will do better this season than 1-15, although I still don't think playoffs that likely. But I think after another season of growth for these guys, we can start looking at playoffs. Second season done, no playoffs again, but take a look at how we do. It's 1-15 again. The team is better. How did we go 1-15 again? Are we stuck? Is this just going to be like Groundhog Day? Every season we go 1-15. All right, let's get the playoffs and off-season out of the way. So, year 3, the team has got better, but they didn't win many games last season either. But now they've got themselves 90-rated running backs, you know, 93-rated tight end. The line isn't getting that much better. The wide receiver's getting a little bit better, but Deshaun Kaiser getting a little bit better. On defense, starting to get a few A- positions, B's, B+. It's looking good. I'm expecting better than 1-15 this season. Will we make the playoffs this year? Surely we've got to make the playoffs next year in year 4. So again, didn't make the playoffs. Did we do better than 1-15? 5-11, the team is improving. Our 3rd year, we're at 5-11. This is now going successfully. Hopefully after this season, we'll go over 500. Let's get on to the next one. Year number 4, and this is the one I feel good about. I think we'll make the playoffs. Take a quick look at the team. Quarterback's now at 80 overall. You know, A+ on the running backs, A+ on the tight ends. We're starting to get B's in the offensive line and wide receivers, but the defense is where it's looking good. Davis now a 97 overall. We've got a bunch of high overalls all over the place. I think this is the year we're improving. 5-11 last year. I think this is the one. Now, I expected to make the playoffs, so I'm not completely sure we didn't get a first round bye. So let's take a look at the record. We went 0-16. How did we go 0? I don't understand this. We went 1-15, 1-15, 5-11, and then we lose every single game of the season when the team is better than ever before. That makes absolutely no sense. Now, I should mention that injuries are off, so that's not the reason. This is going crazily bad. So we're in year 5, which means we've got 3 seasons left to win a Super Bowl to successfully complete this experiment. However, we're going to make a little change. Usually, I always keep the depth chart as, you know, in order of age. However, Madden loves to mess with me and try and change it. What we're going to do this time is we're going to let them make the changes. So this is going to be the best possible roster. Of course, just with all these young players, they are just no longer ordered in age. They are ordered by overall. So that is going to be the difference here, but it's still the youngest guys that are playing. It's just maybe, you know, in terms of age difference in the depth chart, that will be the difference. And hopefully that will help us, because look at this team now. B's everywhere pretty much, except for on the offensive line. A couple of guys, I think this season. Last time I said I think this could be the season where we make the playoffs, and we went 0-16. So we can't do worse. Let's see what happens this year. In year 5, we've got 3 years left. Let's hope we can at least make the playoffs in this year. So at this point, I've given up any hope if we're not in the first round of the playoffs. Let's take a look. Look at that. We managed to go 3-13. Absolutely no idea what's going on. We're starting to run out of time. 2 seasons left after this one. So the penultimate year, year 6. We've got this one and 1 more season. And take a look at the team. We've got a 96 and 95 rated running backs, 98 rated tight end, 80 plus rated wide receivers, and the defense is full of A grades all over the place. How can we not make the playoffs this year? There is absolutely no reason when we look at these players not to make the playoffs. Again, no playoffs, or at least that's what it looks like until we check our record. And we went 7-9. It's the best record so far, but this is our second to last season. The one after this will be our final chance. Can we go from not making the playoffs at all in 6 seasons to making it to the Super Bowl in the final one? I don't know. Here we go. This is it, the final season for this team. Can they make it to the playoffs this year? I mean, look at these guys. They're too good. Now everything is at least a B on offense. I'm pretty sure everything's going to be, almost everything is an A on defense. We've got a 99 rated middle linebacker. We got 90s everywhere. How can we not make the playoffs this year? If we don't, I do not understand anything. So that's it. We don't make it. We finish the season. 7 seasons. This team has become so incredible in 7 seasons, and they never made the playoffs once, and there is absolutely no reason for that to happen, and I don't know why it did. What did we do? We went 7-9 again. It just doesn't make sense. There is no reason that should happen. Look at this defense. A's everywhere except for 2 B pluses. The offense is not bad either, and it's got an incredible running game between these 2 guys. I don't understand what went wrong with this. Answer to the question, can the youngest team in the NFL win a Super Bowl? No, they can't, even if you give them 7 tries. Of course, we didn't expect it early on, but this team would win a Super Bowl. We built this team out of veterans. This isn't much better, or this isn't much worse than the team we built of, you know, next year's free agents. There is no reason this team shouldn't have made the playoffs, and I have absolutely no idea what happened. I'm disappointed in the simulation results. This is stupid, but at least we got to see how this team grows. That is the, you know, side note. No, they didn't make the playoffs, and we didn't get to see advancement there, but we saw how this team grew over 7 seasons, and it's become very good, but it's disappointing that we never made the playoffs. And in that regard, it's a failed experiment, but at the end of the day, all it is an experiment, and we didn't know the answer until we do this. And even if you don't like the answer, unfortunately, you know, that's just the way it is. We allowed the best players to play for the final few seasons, and they still couldn't make the playoffs. Maybe they're just too young.